Starbucks. You thought you were going for coffee, but you ended up in the middle of a culture war because every Starbucks on every corner in America has turned into a battlefield, a cultural battlefield where liberals and conservatives stare across a gulf. And that gulf is actually just the ordering window where you pick up your coffee.
I thought it was going to be the Gulf of America.
No, it is not the Gulf of America. It is the Gulf of Coffee. And across that gulf, there are so many controversies. Controversies that you've been doing your research on this week, right,
Yes,
Mrs. P?
so many. Okay, listen. There's demons.
The logo has demonic roots.
A war on Christmas.
Oh.
Maybe we should boycott Starbucks.
It gets really weird, honestly, for a coffee shop.
We're going to cover all of this and more because we opened how many tabs?
Too many tabs. Remember to smile.
Welcome to Too Many Tabs, a podcast where a husband and wife duo sit next to each other at a table. And what do they have here at the table? Do they have delightful coffee? No. Instead, they have stories and lore, and they want to bring all of it to you. And Mrs. Pearlmania is sitting right here to my right.
Yes, here I am.
And she has done her research on the many controversies around Starbucks.
Yeah, because here's what happened. Starbucks is always in the news.
Yeah, always.
There's people always boycotting it or boycotting it. And I'm like, why is Starbucks the place? Why do Americans love to go into this mid coffee shop with burnt coffee beans and somehow scream their politics? It doesn't make any sense.
You know, it doesn't at first. But then you have to really start taking a look at like the history of cafes and coffee shops, right? Mm-hmm. If you go all the way back to Europe in like the 1800s and even America in the 1900s, coffee shops are what's called a third place. It's not your home. It's not your job. It's a third place where people congregate and they meet and they have conversations. And coffee shops historically have been places where revolutions have begun.
Boo. I like to go to a coffee shop and look at my phone.
I like to go to a coffee shop and drink an overpriced latte while paying too much for a Norah Jones CD. Remember back in the day, Starbucks, we got really big on pushing their special CDs, and it was always, come on to Starbucks and listen to Norah Jones.
I mean, she's jazzy.
But before Starbucks, you used to have cafes and coffee shops all over the world where people would sit and have conversations. They would drink an espresso, smoke a cigarette, talk about how banks and their jobs and the capitalists and more were fucking them. And slowly over time, that would turn into a movement, whether it be a revolution or a union movement or maybe a new way to look at religion. It became a place for people to congregate and also for people to find out community in a way that was different than, I don't know, Twitter and Facebook.
Seems super lame.
It does seem super lame.
I don't like that at all. I don't like talking to people or third spaces. I want my coffee like I like my other things. Boring and bland. I want the Budweiser of coffee, the Walmart of coffee.
The Starbucks of coffee. 100%. That's exactly what Starbucks has turned into. Just like McDonald's, Starbucks is on every corner to the point where when we look to the skyline and we see that green siren, yes, it's a siren, it is not a mermaid. When we see it in the sky, we know, hey, I know exactly what I'm going to get in here.
Poop.
Oh, yeah, because most people drink coffee to poop and to wake up a little.
Well, no, I was going to say, I meant it more like whenever you're in a city, there's never any like bathrooms to use.
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
like Starbucks is always a bathroom and it's a real experience. Anyway, can I tell you how I got into this?
Sure. Tell me how you got into it.
So Starbucks is in the news right now. Well, because a viral social media video last week claimed that an employee, one of the baristas at a Chicago Starbucks, wrote "loser" on a cup. You know how they use Sharpie and write your name?
Yes. But there's stickers too, though, right?
Yeah, like they do the printout stickers, but like some still do the Sharpie name right thing.
Okay.
And so this person said that they ordered a Charlie Kirk tea. Do you know about the tea, the Charlie Kirk tea?
I think I've heard about this, but explain it to me. And explain it for the people who are listening.
The people that are listening. Here you go. So a bunch of people that love Charlie Kirk, favorite podcaster.
Yep.
They decided to honor Charlie Kirk's memory. They were going to go order his favorite drink and then request his name be written on their cup and then say that they're not in a cult.
Got it.
But so this drink is a Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys.
Okay.
I need to tell you something. It's caffeine free. What's the fucking point?
I'm
sorry. If I'm in a place that sells caffeine, I need the caffeine. Anyway, this lady goes in and she orders this drink and she says, write Charlie Kirk on there.
Okay.
And then they didn't write that. They just wrote "loser" across the cup.
Really?
Okay. Now, the whole controversy gets started because this lady, Jacqueline Garretson, who, according to her ex bio, that's Twitter for those of you who are have a good brain that has wrinkles in it. It's Twitter.
Okay.
Is the Illinois state director of the Conservative Caucus and previously worked as a staffer for failed Republican Attorney General candidate Thomas DeVore.
Okay, so a Republican stooge goes to a Chicago, specifically Chicago, because that's important, a Chicago Starbucks.
Yeah.
They order a drink and then tell the person their name is Charlie Kirk. But wait, you said it's a woman.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't her.
Oh.
She states it was a relative whom she later identified as her mother-in-law.
Okay.
So she says that her mother-in-law went to the Starbs and got the Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys, known as Kirk's favorite drink.
Okay.
And that when the order was completed, she saw on her cup that it said loser. Now, but this thing is, Garrison's like on Twitter, she's like, she starts encouraging her followers to call Starbucks and report the incident. And she later posted 2 videos of her and an unidentified man confronting workers at that Starbucks location. I guess it's Norwood Park location.
Okay.
And this is quotes. I'm talking 5 p.m. today. I want some form of action from the employee that represents this business that wrote loser on my mother's cup. The man who is not seen on camera can be heard saying to the video. Quote, we're not looking for corporate bureaucracy. I want immediate accountability. And if not, I will have this whole intersection lined with patriots today. I'm not even joking. The man told a Starbucks employee.
Okay. So, but like, this is very, I want to speak to the CEO. It's beyond, I want to speak to the manager.
Yeah.
They're immediately going into
Howard Schultz. Well, he's not anymore.
He's not the CEO. Well, yeah. But they want retribution now.
Yeah.
They are mad, but also the
video received more than 40,000 likes on Twitter. And on Wednesday...
That doesn't mean much on Twitter. That can just be bots from India. Like, I hate to say that, but that's... Twitter, by the way, we're going to keep calling it Twitter. I also would like to just call it the Nazi propaganda machine because Twitter is...
That's a real mouthful.
It is a real big mouthful.
You got to gargle that one.
Yeah, but I hate saying ex because when you're like on their ex profile, I immediately was like, or ex-husband, ex-boyfriend. Like,
No.
I hear ex and I think lonely and on ketamine. Like Elon.
The thing about ketamine is you shouldn't be alone when you do it.
No, you shouldn't be.
That's why they call it a party drug. You're supposed to be at a party with friends.
Back in the day, the first time I ever saw somebody on ketamine, in front of a local coffee shop. I'm dead serious. There was a guy I used to know. He used to take a lot of ketamine. He was just in front of a coffee shop. I was like, Rich, what are you doing? He was like, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, and I was like, okay.
All right, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
You need a water. So the video gets all these likes, but not that many, honestly. Garretson posted that she went back to the Norwood Park Starbucks at 5 p.m. and found a sign that said the business was temporarily closed. Because, the staff was tired of getting fucking yelled at.
Yeah, because you threatened
them. So they
them.
put a sign on the door and went home.
Yeah, you said we're going to be back here with a mop.
They lost hours that day from their paycheck. They're not going to make rent because of you.
But also, more importantly, you said you're going to come back with a mop.
Yeah.
We're going to come back here with patriots.
I don't get paid enough for that.
Yeah, and these are Starbucks employees. I don't know what the minimum wage is in Illinois. I know it's higher than Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Hey-oh, right?
Lucky duckies.
Much higher than Pennsylvania. Because what's our minimum wage in Pennsylvania, Mrs. P?
$7.25.
$7.25 an hour here in Pennsylvania.
That's one coffee at Starbucks.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, you don't even get a cake pop with that.
No, not at all. You want a cake pop, you got to work a second hour. But more importantly, is that these are just customer service reps.
Yeah.
But so did they catch who?
So, okay, here we go. Ready? So 5 p.m., she finds the sign that says the business is temporarily closed. And then she makes another video. Thank you to everybody that called and stopped in to order Charlie Kirk's drink and put in complaints with corporate. Over the past 24 hours, we have shut them down, Garrison wrote in text over the video. In an email, the Starbucks spokesperson confirmed that the Norwood Park location was closed only for a portion of the day. However, the spokesperson said that the company reviewed time-stamped in-store video footage and found the note was not written by a Starbucks employee. The note appears to have been added after the beverage was handed off by somebody else.
Oh, almost as if it's a false flag, ladies and gentlemen. We got a Charlie Kirk loser false flag Starbucks cup out here. I just want to let you guys know right now that we're looking deeply into this. Oh, wait, I should do it in the Candace Owens voice.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Israel.
Oh, my God.
I'm not saying it was, but maybe it was. Maybe Benjamin Netanyahu was standing in the background with a Sharpie cup writing loser on your Charlie Kirk drink. So that way you'll stay mad, and that way it'll be a left-right issue instead of an up-down one.
And I know it's weird that you think you're agreeing with me, but you're not.
I know you don't know who I am because I've only recently entered into your Midwestern algorithm.
Anyway, the Norwood Park Starbucks was open the next day.
Of course it was.
And then Garrison has not yet responded to requests for comment about this.
Of course it wasn't, because number one, she's an op, and number two, this is a false flag.
Yeah.
False flag. And this is, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
B-Girl.
What?
B-Girl from the Obama campaign in 2008.
I don't know.
A lot of people forget about B-Girl. There was this woman, I want to say she was in Detroit, or somewhere, I think the upper Midwest, and she was a McCain volunteer.
Got it.
Working for John McCain, who was running against Barack Obama in 2008.
John McCain, a
John
normal
McCain.
Republican.
Normal, can I tell you something, y'all? I hated John McCain. I still do.
Yep.
Mainly because you gave us that daughter.
I was going to say, it's the fucking daughter for me, dude.
Anyway, this John McCain volunteer, she was a young woman. I want to say she was in her early 20s. She claimed that she was assaulted by a black man.
Okay.
Who robbed her and then pulled out a knife when she saw that she was a John McCain fan and carved a B, the letter B, in her face, into her cheek.
Why would they do that?
Because she claimed that he did it for Barack Obama. He was stamping her for Barack Obama.
This feels fake.
This went viral for I want to say 8 hours on the conservative side of areas on the internet.
Okay.
Until somebody looked at it and was like, why is the B backwards?
Oh, because she did it herself.
She did it herself in the mirror. She false flagged herself.
Oh my God.
But she didn't, much like oftentimes whenever you see a conservative.
Honestly, can I tell you? Okay. This lady, a dirty bitch and a scumbag. I don't like her, right? That's a dirty bitch move. Fuck that bitch forever. However, if you were going to do this.
Yeah.
You don't do B for Barack. You do O for Obama. And then O is never backwards because it's an O.
Yeah. 100%. You would think that is exactly what she would do.
If you were such a scummy, dumb bitch. No, well, dumb bitch.
Her name was Ashley Todd.
What's she doing now?
I don't have anything now, but she later confessed to having invented the story after surveillance photos and a polygraph test were presented. She was charged with filing a false police report and entered a probation program for first-time offenders. This is conservatives planting their flag and saying the same way they did in Target, the same way they've done in Walmart, the same thing they did to Budweiser, and saying you need to care about our dollar first.
Yeah.
Our dollar, the conservative dollar is the most important dollar, is what they're doing in this. And they're trying to show
But they don't tip, so I don't even get $1.
I know, it's a very fair point. They don't tip. I know, you know how I know that? You wanna know how I know that? I've worked a lot of Sunday brunches, motherfucker, next to churches. I watch all those fuckers in their Sunday best cross the street after hearing that sermon. They're being told about, a rich man, a camel going through a needle, eye of a needle versus a rich man getting into heaven. And they went, that's about a gate. And they walked across the street.
10 top deep.
10 top deep.
10 waters with lemon.
Oh, God.
Hot tea.
But anyway,
they are ordering hot tea.
They are ordering hot tea.
Holy shit. No, stop.
Okay.
My thing is that I hated when I had to work those events, those brunches, post-church brunches, where they were all really, 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 really rude and mean, and then they never tipped.
Yep.
Is at least 6 out of the 10 top order hot tea.
And hot tea's annoying.
Hot tea is so fucking annoying to make at a restaurant. It takes so much time, and you got so many other fucking tables.
Well,
you make all this hot tea, but now the Charlie Kirk drink is hot tea.
Yes. But here's the thing is the other reason they're doing this is to plant the flag. Like I said, they're planting their flag, and they're also announcing to everyone in the room, that they're going, I am hot tea for Charlie Kirk. I am Charlie Kirk. I am Spartacus.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever seen the movie Spartacus, I am Spartacus. I am also this person. I believe the same thing. And they're signaling. Yeah. They're virtue signaling to everyone in the third space. And listen, there's a thing about Starbucks versus the rest of everywhere else, right? Starbucks is one of the few places where liberals and conservatives definitely know they're in the same room.
Yeah.
People who are coded, though, visually coded as liberal and visually coded as conservative across the country. So you'll have a construction worker with his American flag bandana.
Yep.
Next to whatever you think a leftist looks like today.
I mean, it really depends. I'd say septum ring.
Septum piercing, purple hair,
Cool bangs.
whatever. Performative male, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's just, but everyone who's in there knows that they're in there because why are they in there? I need a coffee to wake up. Maybe I need a croissant, and I probably got to poop.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody poops at a Starbucks because it's coffee, and coffee makes you poop. Coffee is a laxative.
Well, this is the thing, is I think they're constipated because this Charlie, which is why they're so grumpy, the Charlie Kirk tea is actually a caffeine-free tea. It's an herbal mint tea with 2 things of honey.
Yeah.
That's it. So you're paying like $5 for caffeine-free herbal tea.
At that point, you're paying for hot water. But the reason why Charlie Kirk would have ordered that with the 2 honeys, I know this because I've done it.
What?
As performing stand-up comedy.
Oh, it's good for your throat.
It's good for your throat. It's for your throat because you build up on phlegm.
But guess what?
What?
It's not. This is a sidebar I went on. A weird little tab.
Okay.
Is that it's not even honey. So here's the thing. Well, it is honey, but like it's diluted. So basically, so I ended up on the Reddit for Starbucks baristas where they were like,
wait, Starbucks baristas have their own Reddit?
Yeah, don't go there. Leave them alone. They have enough going on.
Okay.
But they were just talking about like stuff they hate at their work and their job, and I was like, yeah, I get that.
Do you think half of it is just like Starbucks? It's like weird Starbucks psyops to try to convince them to not unionize in the background.
For
guys, have you noticed how much we love our Starbucks benefits? And I definitely
moderators are all fucking paid ops to be anti-union.
Listen, we don't know. This is a joke.
Allegedly.
Real fast.
Comedy
We don't
podcast.
want the Starbucks employee subreddit coming after us.
No.
But I'm suspicious of anyone who is a Reddit moderator for free.
Yeah.
Every single Reddit moderator is actually a paid shill, and it's probably tied back to Israel. All right, go ahead.
So, okay. They were saying that when they get these orders, not just these orders, but like any order with tea and honey, people will be like, can I have 2 packets of honey in there? And then they have to hand open the little packets of honey, and they fucking hate it because it's such a time suck.
Wait, when you say they, don't do what everyone's they did this, they shot this. Who is they?
The baristas. When they get an order.
What do you mean the barista has to open the honey?
If the order says 2 honey in it, they have to put the 2 honey packets in it.
What the fuck? What are we talking about? What do you mean?
I know what you're thinking. I know that
you hand them the 2 packets.
I know.
They put the 2.
Think. That's what you would think. But no, I guess Starbucks corporate says you gotta open the packets and put them in for them, unless they say on the side. Anyway. They were all talking about how they hate the fucking time suck that it is to open these packets, and sometimes they were saying they have to put them in hot water because they're so like hard, like one of your soy sauce package ons. So they gotta like soften them up. It's a time suck. So anyway,
what the fuck? Well, hold on.
Okay.
Wait, no, just real fast. From a corporate perspective, they got to sit there and tear these little packets and then do the goop. They sit there and work it on 2 packets.
Yeah.
That is at least a full minute. You're slowing down your drink times. I have been a barista.
Yeah.
I have worked in coffee shops.
Yeah.
I've been a cafe man. You're slowing down the turnover of the drinks. If you're slowing that means you're not pushing more drinks. That means you're slowing down your sales. That means you're having a build up there around that little area where people are waiting.
Yep.
And you're probably slowing down your drive-through line at the same time.
Yep.
You're definitely slowing down your drive-through line. What the fuck are we doing? You want 2 packets? If you want 2 packets of honey, packets on the side.
Packets on the side.
I don't understand
But
this.
Starbucks did come up with a solution, or they have a solution ingrained in the way they work, which is they have a thing called honey blend.
Okay.
Which is like, there's sauce syrups. Like you like caramel. You always get caramel pumps in your coffee.
We go to the Dunkies.
We get the Dunkies.
We go to Dunkies. We don't go to Starbucks. If there was a local coffee shop to us that was good or easy to access. Close. we would go to.
We go, but it's there.
Because real fast, we're anti-Starbucks because we're pro-local coffee shops.
Yeah.
But also, we end up just the closest thing to us is the Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin'.
Yeah.
But so they have like the pumps, and they have a pump called Honey Blend. So most people, when they get their Mint Majesty with 2 honeys, they're getting 2 pumps of the Honey Blend.
Got it.
But then I was like, what the fuck is Honey Blend?
Okay.
So I looked it up, and it's a pump mix that they use that's like 64% honey. So it's like honey, water, natural flavors, preservatives, potassium sorbate, xanthi gum, and citric acid.
Wait, xanthi gum?
There's xanthi gum in there.
Xanthi? You're doing xanthi bars?
Nope.
No?
It's xanthan gum.
Oh, see, I'm thinking back to the cafe I used to hang out at back in the day.
Perks.
It was perks and xanthi bar. I mean, the first time I ever heard of a xanthi bar was a guy being like, "You want a tombstone?" And I was like, "A pizza?" But now everybody's like,
Deep Philly lore.
You trying to get a tombstone, buddy? Okay, first thing, I'm already caught off guard that you said honey blend and it's only 64% honey.
I know.
Because honey is 100% honey. It is 100% honey. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But I like that it has all these weird preservatives in it.
Oh yeah, we gotta get RFK on that.
Because RFK would be, like they're talking about they don't want to take Tylenol for their headaches, but you're drinking honey blend. You don't know what's in honey blend.
If you don't give these pregnant women Tylenol, how are we gonna have more Starbucks baristas?
Okay.
How are we gonna have more Starbucks baristas? Okay?
Okay,
but real fast.
Okay,
I just want to get back into this whole the Charlie Kirk label and all these different things. Because it's a signifier. We're virtue signaling to everyone there in the room, but also, again, it's been a flag plant. So that way, when people view Starbucks has always been viewed as like this liberal coastal elite.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? College educated. When people look at coffee, they think, especially coffee shops, it's always been latte. I remember in the 90s when Starbucks was first getting popular in America. We drank coffee, drip coffee, Folgers. It went through a process. It was machined. We used to not even buy our own, like whole grain coffee beans. Relatively in America, that's like a new thing. Yeah. You would get pre-ground coffee from a tin, right? It was shit. And that's what it was. And then in the 90s, as coffee culture started getting big and Starbucks started spreading places, I remember the first time people were like, oh, I got a latte. And people were like, a latte? You got a latte? Oh, I got a mocha frappuccino. Everybody, oh, mocha frappuccino. Everyone, if you told somebody, if you were a man in America, and you turned to your buddies after a hard day of playing rollerblade street hockey, and you said, you know what I could go for right now, fellas? I'd go for me a nice latte, a caramel latte. They'd look at you and go, how long, when you come out, Craig? You pro gay marriage now too, Craig? There was a thing there's this coding around coffee shops where if you went there, having a latte itself was its own virtue signal. Yeah. If you had a latte, we could assume you were a Clinton voter. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that was kind of what part of it was. Like cappuccino was a little bit different because cappuccino's Italian. Ooh. But lattes, that was But
also, I have to just say with the educated thing, like I've worked at quite a few coffee shops.
Yeah.
And every person I knew that worked in the coffee shops with me always had like a master's degree or a PhD. So they were the most educated people in the world.
Yeah, because also being a barista and doing those things, typically you was a place you hung out at, typically at a college, because there's a lot of coffee shops in colleges, and especially in small colleges.
You got to be awake to study.
This
was pre-Adderall, baby.
But again, and going back to it being a third space, this is a place where students would go that wasn't the library, it wasn't a bar, it wasn't their job, it wasn't their dorm room. It's a place to go. And so you'd sit there. I can't tell you how often in the late 90s, early 2000s, you'd see people just reading a book at a coffee shop. What am I doing? Just reading a book at a coffee shop. What does reading a book at a coffee shop actually do? I'm showing people that I'm reading a book. Yeah. The same way, if I order a coffee and I force that barista to say, Charlie Kirk, I got a hot tea for Charlie Kirk, then everyone there is being signaled. Yeah. That there is a Charlie Kirk supporter here. The same way they were being signaled that somebody is reading a Dan Brown novel and hoping that a woman will think that makes him smart.
Oh my God, Dan Brown.
Yeah, the Da Vinci Code.
The curse upon the libraries.
But this is part of all of that. You know, this is part of where all that comes together.
Back in the day when we had coffee shops or tea shops.
Independent ones,
never Starbucks. I would go to them to read a book, but it was mostly because, like you said, like I don't have an espresso machine at home.
Yes.
So if I want a latte, I shall go to the place where they can make me my nice fancy drink.
And I want to drink a latte while I sit in a comfy chair.
They used to have comfy chairs.
Well, it depends on the place.
Lighting, art on the walls.
Well, the one thing is, so I worked in a lot of independent cafes as a barista and other things like cashier and stuff like that. And like the difference between a Starbucks is designed like a McDonald's. There's booths, there's tables, there's chairs. It's set up to get to flow you in and to flow you out. There's an area for you to sit, but they're always going to make sure it's a little too cold, so you don't want to hang out there. They're always going to make sure the chair isn't that comfortable, so you don't stay too long. But like old cafes back in the day, the ones where you could feel like you go, where you could plot. A cafe was a place to plot.
Yeah, plot the overthrow of the government.
Or just plot your evening. What are we going to do later? We're going to plot this weekend. It's a place for the two of us to go sit. And it was always at like, they always had too many chairs and too many tables, right? They were always a little too tight. And there'd always be the one area where there would be, like in Friends.
Yeah.
They hang out, was it the Central Perk? Like that style coffee shop is a 90s thing. And that was the type, originally when Starbucks first was rolling out everywhere, that was the aesthetic they were kind of pushing everywhere that then got corporatized more and more and more that turned into the McDonald's feel.
Yeah.
And the thing is once you start turning into the McDonald's feel, then you need to be turning into the conservative feel because now your whole job is to be non-offensive to everyone. Ugh. And that's one of the big changes.
No. There was a coffee shop on South Street. It was like on 9th and South that I used to love. Actually, I think they filmed an episode of It's Always Sunny in there. I think the waitress, the first time you meet the waitress is in that coffee shop. I think it's called Gleaners now, but I forget. It used to have a different name, but it's like really tiny. There's a back room that's so small. Everybody's hips were touching when you were in there.
Yeah, 100%.
We were all just like touching back. Like our hips were touching. We're all on our tiny little tables, and we would just sit there. And they had board games and a two small bathroom. And
let me guess, you could smoke in there?
I don't know if you could.
Because the coffee shops I used to hang out in, you used to be able to smoke in them. Back in my day, kids, you could smoke in a coffee shop.
No smoking.
It was a great place. You could drink. You get there, you drink your coffee. You smoke 2 cigarettes. You destroy that bathroom. The one place I used to hang out in Westchester is a place called Fenario.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I would sit there. I would drink coffee. I'd chain smoke. And then I'd blow this bathroom up. And I'll never forget that bathroom because they had this painting on the wall. So you're sitting on the toilet and you're looking at this painting. And it was a painting of the American flag. And it said, the American dream. And that too became another faded lie. And
Holy shit,
I'd be just sitting there in 2003. I'm just sweating. Oh my God, I should eat real food. And it's just, this is in between like Miller Lights and Jaeger.
Yeah.
So it's like Miller Lite and Jaeger evening, coffee and cigarette morning.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting there like, the American dream is dead. George W. Bush is the worst president we'll ever have.
Yeah, it'll never get worse than this.
We are currently living through a fascist takeover America in 2003 due to the actions of Clear Channel Communications and their silencing of liberal thought like Bill Maher. Ah!
Hey, listen, why don't we take a quick break and when we come back, I want to talk to you about intelligent design.
Ooh, a throwback. This fall, HelloFresh is taking it to the next level with a menu that's literally double the size. Choose from 100 chef-designed meal options each week, and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients show up right at your door. They've even added veggie-packed recipes that have 2 or more vegetables for that extra boost of greens, and steak and seafood recipes that come at no extra cost.
I love HelloFresh because it makes you cook me dinner.
It's very true. I am not a confident cooker. I don't have the power and the ability of Mrs. Pearlmania when it comes to making a tasty, delicious meal. But when I have a HelloFresh card there and I have the ingredients already pre-portioned for me, it makes me feel better and more confident in what I'm about to make. And I know that not only you, but the baby is going to enjoy it. And guess what? They have even bigger portions now, and that'll keep everyone satisfied. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/tabs10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/tabs10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. As always, like, subscribe, comment, give us those 5 stars on Apple, on Spotify. Hit that hype button.
And if you want to listen ad-free, join our Patreon at promania500.net.
Yeah, promania500.net, where you can join us. And now we are now putting in the description of the Patreons a link to an ad-free viewing experience of this very
We're
podcast.
upgrading your lifestyle.
We
over
are
there.
listen. That's what we do with the money we get over at a Patreon. We take it and we put it back into the show. We buy lighting. We
Look at
buy a
this.
wallpaper.
Look at this.
I sometimes put it on correctly.
It looks great.
I think it looks
I'm
amazing.
ignoring any comments that don't say that.
Please comment that I did a good job with the wallpaper, or I will repaint these walls with my own brain.
No, hey.
What?
Hey.
What?
Okay, so listen. The one thing I want to say across the board is the CEO of Starbucks was Howard Schultz, right?
Yes.
He was the CEO till 2018, and then he left, but then he came back and joined the board of directors, and then
Okay.
he left the board of directors in 2023.
Okay.
So I'm going to start back in 2005, where like my research kind of begins.
You left out a little thing about Howard Schultz.
What's that?
In 2020, he ran for president of the United States of America as a Democrat in the primary.
He did?
Yeah, he ran for president against like Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and it was pretty clear his whole thing was, and even when he dropped out, and he didn't endorse Biden until like September of 2020.
Okay.
He was like, we need a centrist. We need things are getting a little bit too. Things are getting a little bit too union-y. He was very.
It was always-
it was
oh my
always
God.
money. It was always union stuff. But he was very much. He's very much a coastal elite lib.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey guys, gay marriage, right? Like these things, right? Oh, you want union and more money? Guys, we're all in this together.
Yeah. Okay. You have that thing where you can see ahead. That magic forethought thing.
Oh no, that's just called reading history and understanding context clues.
Oh, okay.
That's a curse. Also a gift.
In 2005,
Okay.
Howard Schultz and his team decided they wanted to add quotes by artists, writers, scientists, and others on the Starbucks cups.
In
So they
2005?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're printed on the side of the cup. So this isn't handwritten Sharpie stuff. This
Okay.
is printed on the cup.
Got it.
And the campaign was called The Way I See It.
Okay. So
Okay.
this is just different quotes from different people about the way they see
The
it?
world.
The world.
The world.
Okay.
So one of the quotes was by writer Armistead Maupin.
Okay.
And it said,
I know him.
The quote itself said, "My only regret about being gay is that I repressed it for so long. I surrendered my youth to the people I feared when I could have been out there loving someone. Don't make that mistake yourself. Life's too damn short."
Okay, that's a hell of a quote.
It's a great quote.
It's a hell of, can I say something real fast?
Yeah.
Co-saying that quote.
Great quote.
Great quote. A number one quote. They would never print that on a fucking cup today.
No.
Absolutely not. They would never print that on a cup today. If you are wondering how I know that, go check out the Pride section in Target.
There is none. So that made the Christians mad.
Okay.
Yeah.
What doesn't?
I know. Shock. Okay, so I found
But
another.
this is before Facebook, Twitter, and all those different things.
Yeah.
So they were just kind of
They
stewing.
had to. It was in the newspaper.
Yeah.
They had to call the newspaper man.
Yeah, they would have to write. They had to write a letter.
Yeah.
Buy a stamp. I miss those days. I miss the days when people were mad about something. They had to go buy a stamp.
Yeah.
You had to put 32 cents.
This is why the postal service is getting defunded. We don't have to write angry letters anymore.
We just type. Hold on, real fast. I was mad about something.
Yeah, that literally you just reenacted every day, all day.
No, but I usually don't do it with my thumbs. Usually I'm like this. You know what I can't stand right now? The government. Also capitalism.
Yeah, then they're gonna bury that one. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
no, it's fine.
So here's another quote that was also on the side of a cup.
Okay, also, can I tell something real fast? Just
Yeah.
because you threw up the image on the screen. These are incredibly long quotes.
I know.
This is a lot of ink, and ink costs money. So like they're making a financial decision not only to take a stance alongside of somebody who's like, I shouldn't have ever been in the closet. I'm happy. I'm gay. I'm out there. Each letter
Yeah.
in a print costs money.
Yeah.
Like there's times like when we made our shirts that we rolled out with, they were like, hey, just so you know, like if the size and the placement, if you want to do doubles,
Yeah.
front back, like that's twice as much. I was
Yeah.
like, makes sense, but it's like when you get into the print job of things,
Yeah.
like this is a lot.
That's a lot of cups too.
That's a
for
lot
as
of
many
cups.
stores as there are.
Yeah, and also somebody's gonna be mad because I bet you some guy kept getting in there and be like, why do I keep getting the gay cup?
Got the gay cup. Well, that's because they get a huge box that's got probably 50 sleeves of 100 cups, and they're
Yeah.
all the same cup.
Yeah.
So like, there's probably just like one Starbucks that for 1 week was just giving out the gay pride cup.
No, not me. You know what? If I worked there, I would have been. If Todd Chrisley came in, I'd have a sleeve of 25 cups set aside with that quote. And every time Todd Chrisley came in, I would make sure I'd be like, Mocha latte. Yeah. Okay.
You're talking about Todd Chrisley, the prison reform advocate?
Yes, prison reform advocate Todd Chrisley. I would make sure he would be like, how?
You know
This is literally his interaction. He goes, hey, I don't want to make a big deal, but how come every time I come in here, I get the gay cup? They don't even do quotes on cups anymore. They haven't done this in years. Why do you keep giving me the gay cup?
Why do you have vintage 2008 cups you've been holding on to?
It's every time. Every time. Are you trying to say something?
You'd get in big trouble for that. I remember a million years ago, probably around 2008, honestly, or 2010. Do you know who Mary-Kate and Ashley are?
Mary-Kate Olsen?
The Olsen twins.
Do I know who the Olsen twins are?
I don't know about you.
Okay.
So Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen in the early aughts were famous Starbucks drinkers.
Okay.
Those girls always had a huge cup of coffee in their hands.
Yeah.
Every paparazzi picture of them is in an oversized sweater with a giant scarf and a big floppy hat and like the biggest Starbucks venti.
And they were rail thin.
Yeah, rail thin.
Rail thin.
And so they were very thin. And I guess some barista at some Starbucks, somebody came in and interviewed them. They were like trying to figure out what their Starbucks order. And I'm pretty sure, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was a skinny vanilla latte. That is my brain on internet culture from the early aughts.
Okay.
Is that we all knew Mary-Kate and Ashley's order.
What's skinny mean?
Skinny means that the syrup, the flavor syrup, is calorie free.
Oh, okay. It's just low cal. Okay,
low
got
calorie
it. Got it.
vanilla in a skim latte.
Yeah, I know a few people are gonna be like, I thought you said you were a barista. I thought you know. I was like, I didn't really. I was just. You told me we would speak in a different language.
Yeah, no.
The person
Starbucks
who came
language is completely different.
Yeah, no, there's that, but also it's just the way when people walk up and like they tell the cashier one thing, and I literally my job was hungover guy who just moved the fucking things. I used to listen. I was told I was told I made a really good cappuccino, and I had never had one.
Yeah.
I just knew the foam.
Yeah,
and it was the same thing with a latte. The owner of the cafe I worked at, this one cafe, he was super. He's like, you got to get in a latte art, dude. You would be so good at latte. I never could get it. I could never do the leaf.
Yeah.
I could never do it.
I can't do them.
I tried. I was just with the pot.
You just make a
metal
little
pot.
blobby ghost.
And now we don't
little
even do
sperm.
it. Now we don't even do it anymore.
Well, why would you? Nobody puts their cool food pictures on Instagram anymore.
No.
With a fun filter on it.
No, instead they just write, I am Charlie Kirk.
Millennials we're too busy. We don't have time to take cool pictures of our food like we used to on Instagram.
Well, it's also
Anyway.
because we don't want to be tracked by Palantir. That's really what it comes down to. We hit a weird wall where one day we were like, oh my God, this is so fun to share with my friends.
Yeah.
And apparently the shareholders of an AI company?
Oh my God, I'm being scraped. So anyway, what I was saying about the Mary Kate is that I think it was some magazine went to this Starbucks in New York City, and they were like, what's their order? We want to print what their order is because everybody wants to know what Mary Kate and Ashley's Starbucks order is because they're iconic Starbucks drinkers. And this barista admitted to crimes and was like, yeah, they get, this vanilla latte with the skinny syrup, but I think they're too thin. So I don't give them skim milk. I give them whole milk. And then the reporter and journalist put it in there that this person's doing it, and I'm pretty sure they got fired. Obviously.
Of course they did. Do you want to admit your crime now?
Well, it's my crime.
Let's just say Natalie Portman.
I forgot about that crime. That wasn't a crime.
She requested an organic apple.
Okay.
Did you give her an organic apple?
Okay. Hear me out.
Was the apple organic?
It had an organic sticker on it.
With enough said, move back onto the controversies.
I'm not admitting crimes. I'm not admitting crimes. So, one of the other cups.
That's kind of the lore. People are gonna be like, "What does that even fucking mean?"
Leave a comment about that, and then I'll remember it when we record the after party, which is our Patreon exclusive episode in which we respond to comments behind a paywall. And if you write a comment about that, I will tell the story of the Natalie Portman non-organic organic apple.
And
okay?
don't you dare make a compilation of these for TikTok and post them and tag us.
Yeah.
Don't you dare, you monsters.
Okay,
All right, back to the controversy.
We got another cup. So one of the other quotes I want to tell you.
Oh, there's two. Yeah, there's another quote.
Well, there was like 200 quotes.
Okay.
But this other one was the other one that like started a whole thing.
Okay.
So David Quammen, they used his quote, and it said, Evolution, as described by Charles Darwin, is a scientific theory, abundantly reconfirmed, explaining physical phenomena by physical causes. Intelligent design is a faith-based initiative in rhetorical argument. Should we teach intelligent design in America's public schools? Yes. Let's do it, not as science, but alongside other spiritual beliefs, such as Islam, what's that say?
Zoroastrianism.
Sure. And the Hindu idea that the earth rests on a giant turtle. Now, so we have this one about intelligent design not being real.
Okay. So here's what's fun about that.
Okay.
That is such a nuanced quote. that is such a both sides perfect. This is evolution should be taught in science.
Yep.
And intelligent design should be taught in comparative religion studies, or maybe like a debate argument class, right? Like that's what this person is saying.
Yeah.
It also took them an entire cup. Oh my God.
That's a big old cup.
That's a thickum quote.
Venti only.
But again, we're so Twitter brained now.
Yeah.
That like a layer of this could never make it, because we could only think in headlines and bumper stickers at this point as a people.
Yeah.
But except for the listeners of this podcast, you guys know how to deal with nuance and long quotes and thoughts.
And long form content.
Yeah, amazing long form content like this, which is why you're going to give us 5 stars right now on Apple Podcast.
Please.
I want 1,000. I want
Please.
1,000 reviews.
Hit the hype button.
Oh, hit the hype button
We're
too.
being silenced.
Whatever we need to say. Just whatever we need to say, okay? Whatever we're going to get you there, because think about, we want to get you back to a time where Starbucks would put apparently 6 paragraphs worth of a quote onto a cup.
A Dr. Bronner's bottle.
That's insane. Oh, what a great pull. We did our
Thanks.
episode about that too.
Yeah.
But this is such a good quote. What was the reaction to it?
The Christians and conservatives lost their fucking mind.
Of course they did.
They just got mad.
Yeah, because
they were like, oh, we're boycotting, and they kind of didn't though.
Intelligent design he's right though. It's a rhetorical device that was created to try to put a counterbalance against evolution, because they don't have a second theory. Intelligent design just says somebody had to have made it all.
Yeah.
And I think I don't really love Neil deGrasse Tyson a lot, because in more recent years, I think he both sides certain political things too often.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite quotes from him was about, if we were intelligently designed, why did you put a playground next to a waste treatment plant? And I was just like, that's a fair point. Why does my dangle also dingle? You know what I mean? Like,
a lot of things are next to things they shouldn't be next to.
They shouldn't be next to. And also,
You know what I
like,
mean?
yeah, and like, if you think that we're intelligently designed, then you're dumb.
Okay.
Like, that's the thing. That's just the thing I know.
Let me tell you something about intelligent design.
Okay, go ahead.
We have to brush our mouth bones every day.
Every day.
You gotta brush your mouth bone. These are bones from your skeleton that are out. That's crazy.
If we were intelligently designed, we would have these would be shark teeth. Because
Yeah.
they have a lot and they can replace themselves a certain amount.
They go tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, they turn around.
Yeah.
We don't have
That's
those.
intelligent design.
That's intelligent
Their eyeballs
design.
close when they eat. My
Yeah.
eyeballs close when I eat too. When
Yeah.
I eat my HelloFresh meals. Anyway,
We don't even have an intelligently designed infrastructure.
I didn't learn about intelligent design in school.
Because you're Catholic.
I know.
They don't do that over there.
Yeah, shout out. We got a lot of problems in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, no
But
shit.
they didn't teach us intelligent design. They got mad scientists.
Well, because intelligent design was also designed, it literally was designed to be shoved into public schools. It's a cudgel to be used at public schools. It feels almost quaint now.
Yeah.
Because this was such an old culture war thing. But it's one of those things that comes back. You know, you have the Scopes monkey trial from all the way back in the 1920s.
I don't know
and then
what that is.
it's an evolutionary trial about a teacher that got tried and found guilty of teaching evolution in school that went against like some local law.
Oh, okay.
And he was found guilty, but it was like a big flashpoint.
Yeah.
And then good schools taught people about it later and goes, and this is why we've gotten intelligent as a species to the point where now nobody questions evolution. More controversies? Go ahead.
Okay, here's one thing. I just want to put a pinpoint in our timeline here. The Starbucks workers started their first Starbucks union in 2004.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's when the first, I think it was 7 stores
Okay.
started in 2004, the unionization of certain Starbucks locations, right?
Okay. Got it.
In 2006, the Starbucks union had to go up against Starbucks. They did a big boycott. They were picketing outside of different locations in Australia, Canada, Germany, in major cities all over America. because 5 Starbucks workers had had their hours cut, their wages not withheld from them, and 2 people were fired. So there was this big boycott and protest by Starbucks staff to have these people reinstated and their back wages paid, which they did do.
When what you just heard right there is 2 things. Number 1, on behalf of Starbucks, that was retaliation. That was illegal retaliation.
Yep.
Well, it used to be illegal. I don't know about anything.
Laws aren't real, baby.
Who knows these days, right? Am I right, folks? Am I right, folks? You know, who wants to pay a contractor, folks? But that's first thing was retaliation. And what you heard from the Starbucks employees is what's called solidarity.
Yeah.
Because if you take out one of us, you got to take out all of us.
Yep.
And as they know, nobody, without a barista, there is no latte.
Yeah.
Without a barista, there is no one for a Karen to scream at 7:30 in the morning for some fucking reason.
Just so angry.
Without a barista, there is no one to ask where the Wi-Fi password is, which was also a great thing with the cafe I worked at in 2006, ironically. 2006, I worked at an independent cafe. Again, we had a lot of tables really close together, but we didn't have Wi-Fi. And I remember asking the owner, like, why don't we have Wi-Fi?
He's like, so they'll leave.
No, that was actually, it was part of it. One was because of turnover, but also he said we actually have a lot of writers and people who come in here and they like that we don't have Wi-Fi because then they actually get stuff done.
Yeah.
Because they'd come in with their laptops, they'd sit down, they'd open up Microsoft Word back in the day when you used to only have to pay for it once because it wasn't a subscription service. And they would log into Microsoft Word and they would go type up their articles or write their book or whatever. And then they could get things done for a certain amount of time while they drink their coffee.
Yeah.
And then they'd leave. But he's like, now I went back there a few years ago. Now they have Wi-Fi. He's like, we couldn't beat it anymore.
Yeah.
But if Starbucks opened down the street, and we actually used to use it, we would point customers over there. Like people would come in and be like, I want you to treat me like this. We're like, fuck you, go to Starbucks. It was very Empire Records. It was very like, oh, you want that? Go down. The Starbucks is right down the street. The Starbucks, go ask them for a fucking venti.
Yeah.
You're over here. We have medium.
Yeah,
all right.
We have one size.
Medium.
One size. I like a coffee shop with one size.
I do like a one size coffee shop, but I don't like it when it's a weird like what's it, 12 ounce, 16, and then there's 20.
Yeah.
I've been to a place that had 18. I was like, I don't trust you.
No.
I don't trust an 18
Okay,
ounce
so
cup.
listen, in 2012, the National Gun Victims Action Council published an open letter to Starbucks asking them to revise their policy about allowing firearms to be carried in Starbucks. So Starbucks basically had the policy that if a state or county had the laws written that you could open carry, then you could open carry in a Starbucks.
For those of you guys who don't know, open carry means everyone can see your gun.
Yeah.
Because there's open carry and there's concealed carry. Concealed carry, you often need
a license,
a permit or a license.
I wonder here who has that.
Because you need to be cleared so that way no one knows you have it.
Yeah.
Right? And there's like sign-offs. There's all these really weird ways to do it. Some states they have, like, especially in the Midwest, open carry. And that's where you can literally wear it like a gunslinger.
Yeah, and you look like a real dork inside a Starbucks carrying a giant-ass firearm.
Yeah, well, and some people have like they have an AR-15 over there. You've seen guys like the AR-15 at Subway.
They have the smallest penises in the world.
But that's part of it. And there's been some states, again, in the culture war, when there's been discussions about gun regulations, especially around school shootings and other things like that their reaction has been, we need more guns. And in fact, everyone should see how many guns there have. And often, unless you have restrictions against you owning firearms, in how many states is it?
I think it's 43.
Okay, so except for 7 states in America, and I think it's 7 states in the District of Columbia.
Yeah.
You can legally just carry a gun if you're allowed to own a gun.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that everybody knows you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be, I believe it's supposed to be holstered. So it's either holstered or like on a strap.
I don't know.
I think that I'm not a lawyer.
Whatever.
We just have community college degrees.
Yeah. Listen, we're just making a comedy podcast here.
Yeah.
A history comedy podcast.
That's exactly what we do. And we have a couple of guns and a big dog.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. Okay.
And a big security system.
The council, this Gun Victims Action Council, made this open letter to Starbucks asking them to revise their policy and asking them to say that people couldn't open carry, even if it was an open carry state, right?
Yeah.
They called for a boycott called the Brew Not Bullets boycott, and they wanted Valentine's Day to be the particular day that everybody boycotted the chain. They picked one day, and they're like, "This is the day we're all going to boycott for brews, not bullets, so that they'll change their policy.
And I'm guessing that their hope was that we'll show that on Valentine's Day how many people don't want to see guns or be in the presence of guns in our store.
Yeah.
And it'll show how many people we have in our movement.
Yeah.
And all those different things because they'll see a dip in their sales on Valentine's Day, which is probably a big day.
Yeah.
Because people are coming in picking up coffee for their wife or they have treats and all the different. They have Valentine's Day stuff.
Little snacks.
Yeah.
In response, gun rights activists started a counter boycott, not boycott, called Starbucks Appreciation Day to support Starbucks' stance. And the people running it suggested that everybody pay for their products using $2 bills as a sign of Second Amendment support.
$2.
Fuck you, dude.
I can't stress to you guys I cannot stress to you guys that I can tell now that these guns rights people have never had real jobs.
Yeah.
They've never been a cashier. They've never had a real job. If you have ever worked anywhere that you receive money and you have to put it into a till, you know, as I know, there is no slot for a $2 bill.
No.
There is no slot for a $2 bill. There is no slot for a $2 bill. You are now stuck with a bill that you don't know what to do with. You have a slot for a 1, a 5, a 10, a 20. Maybe you have a slot for a 50. Hundreds are definitely going to go underneath if you guys even accept them. But a $2 bill, what do I even do with this?
Oh, my God.
You have to hope that there's some weirdo that comes in and be like, by the way, when I make change, you cool with a 2? And then that person's like, oh, I collect $2 bills. You have to hope for those fucking people.
Listen.
And if it's like the dollar coins, same thing with the dollar coins.
The Sacagawea coins?
The Sacagawea or any of the different dollar coins, when we had those come in, oftentimes those old tills don't have the slots for them, depending on where you're at. And so you're just stuck with these extra fucking coins through God forbid, if it's a shift or if you work at a bank. When I worked at a bank, when I had my till, that was my till until I checked it out. So I'd be every single day, I'd be stuck there with the 4 $2 bills I can't get rid of, hoping until some pop-up comes in who has 4 grandkids. Oh, it would be a great idea for the birthday. Maybe you should give them each a $2 bill. They'll like that. Oh, that'll make me a cool pop-pop. They don't care. They just want Fortnite gift cards. They want to go on Discord and get radicalized.
Hey, why don't we take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about gay marriage.
Hey, I like gay marriage. And now for everyone's favorite thing, gay marriage. That's right, I'm hitting the hype button for gay marriage because, honestly, it's been 10 years. It's been legalized for 10 years.
Nice.
Everyone forgets that it was only 10 years ago that it wasn't legal in a large part of the United States. And it was a big deal.
It was a big deal. I remember how big a deal it was.
Yeah.
In January 2012, a Starbucks executive stated that the company supports the legalization of same-sex marriage.
The company?
The company.
That's crazy for somebody to step forward and say, every place I've ever worked, they're like, you don't speak on behalf of the company. We have no stance on anything until we say otherwise.
So this resulted in a boycott by the National Organization for Marriage, a political organization that opposes same-sex marriage. And then they got like 20,000 signatures or more in favor of their boycott, which honestly isn't that many.
That's not 20,000. I mean, that's like not even a full day of sales for them at like 2 locations.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing when you're looking at numbers, like you have to deal with major numbers.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my, we got 20,000 people signed. Okay, that's.
I mean.
All right, I guess we won't open a Starbucks in Boise.
Oh, blah. So there was a shareholder meeting after this happened, after this boycott started.
Okay.
And one of the shareholders who actually agreed with the National Organization for Marriage, so he was anti-gay marriage, this one shareholder, he was like, well, our recent earnings have been pretty disappointing since the boycott. Kind of like trying to press the button that like they should come out against same-sex marriage. Because
financially this isn't good for us to be.
Financially.
Yeah.
And CEO Howard Schultz responded, this is a quote, "If you feel respectfully that you can get a higher return than the 38% you got last year, it's a free country. You can sell your shares of Starbucks and buy shares in another company. Thank you very much."
Wow. I will say hey, Howard, that is a very good, very cunty.
I was going to say it's so cunty.
That's very cunty. If you think you can do better than 38% last year, then why don't you go across? That is exactly how I talked to the people when I was working at the Independent Cafe about how Starbucks is.
Go
right down the street. Go right down that fucking street.
Donuts. Why don't you go to Dunkin' D's?
Yeah. Yep.
Howard Schultz is not a good character in any of this story.
No, but
He's
this
not
is a
good
great
person,
pull quote. It's
just a really good pull quote.
It's a very good pull quote. Listen, I feel about Howard Schultz. Similar to the same way I feel about like Winston Churchill, right?
Yeah.
Like good quote machine.
Got a good quote.
That's a good quote.
Scumbag.
You know what? Fuck you a lot of the times, buddy.
A lot of the time.
Fuck you a lot of the times, but that's a good quote right there.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what happened.
Yeah.
I started looking up the National Organization for Marriage because I'm like, who are these people? Because what happened after gay marriage passed? Like, now you get a whole organization and you're lost.
Well, you know what's crazy is on the opposite side, there's organizations that were pro-gay marriage. Once gay marriage was legalized, like, what do?
Party.
No, I'm saying a lot of them, like, they lost a lot of funding.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are like, oh, well, the only reason I was giving you was for that mission, and we completed that mission, so now we're done, and now look where we're at.
Oh, boy. So anyway, the National Organization for Marriage, I found the funniest story and yet more proof that conservatives are so bad at fucking marketing.
Okay.
Okay. On April 8th of 2009, the National Organization for Marriage, I'm going to call them NOM, as in nom nom nom.
Nom.
Began a new initiative called
Okay.
the 2 Million for Marriage Initiative. Okay, with the intention of organizing 2 million people nationwide to go against gay marriage.
Can I tell you something real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
2 million is not a lot. We are a nation, I think now we're at 350 million people in this country.
Yeah.
2 million isn't even 1%. Like I just want to remind people,
They're
like,
giving themselves a low bar.
it's still pretty high. Still getting 2 million people together is crazy. It's a large amount of people. But like you could do that and just have that cover Southern Baptist.
I saw a woman who had 2 million followers on TikTok that doesn't have that anymore.
Oh yeah, Hannah Brown.
She was very red.
Yeah, she was very red.
I don't know if her blood pressure's high or she got sunburn at the Charlie Kirk thing.
I think it's a sunburn. I think she didn't set up her good lighting. But we're not here to talk about her. We're not talking about her controversies. Nom. All right,
Okay.
so 2 million
2
for
million
marriage.
for marriage. Okay, so they come up with this campaign, and here's the thing: they wanted to abbreviate it instead of just saying it, so they called it 2M 4M.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God. Guys, listen, I know that some of you are young. I know that you're young, and maybe you didn't have Craigslist when you were a teen or older.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
On Craigslist, we used to have personal ads where, I mean, it's still there. You can go look at them. And on the personal ads, there was all these different coded language for things.
Yeah.
And 2M, 4M means 2 men seeking a third male sexual partner. So you would go on the Craigslist in the personal ad section and you'd write 2M, 4M, and then maybe include a picture, right? Yeah. And that's how people found each other on the internet back then. And so NOM didn't know that. They didn't Google that.
They didn't check the SEO.
They didn't check the
SEO, the search engine optimization.
They didn't know what 2M, 4M meant, which is so funny.
This would be like saying, like, we're tired of being pushed down. We're down here at the bottom, but we have the power. We're the power bottoms. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You literally were setting up, they were like, we're standing up for marriage because we're pro Eiffel Towering a dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I
love that. The best part is, right? I know how this goes with all these conservative groups, especially ones that are anti-gay. That always been there because there's been so many. There was an amazing website. I don't know if it's still open up there anymore called Gay Homophobe. But it was all these different guys who got caught being very anti-gay and then being caught in gay affairs.
Okay.
Which means you'd be in a situation where there had to have been at least one guy in the meeting.
That just happened to that guy you were talking about last week.
What?
The Benny Johnson guy?
Oh, yeah. Benny Johnson. Yeah, people are saying that he's been caught in another gay affair because he's bisexual. But the one of the big things, though, is like, when they're in this NOM meeting.
Yeah,
they're all sitting around, nom. I hate lesbians. Nom. I hate gay people. No. 2 million for marriage. Okay, great. We should we should shorten it so we can put them in short bumper stickers. Maybe we can even get a hashtag.
Yeah, we should get a bumper sticker.
And then there's one guy, and then
sure.
he's like, well, and they're like, what's the matter, Charlie? You have some thoughts about that?
No.
And he's like, no. I have no idea. I have no thought about that. Not whatsoever.
No.
No.
So NOM didn't secure the domain name or any other internet resources that used 2M, 4M. So this guy, Christopher Ambler, a consultant in rapid web development who categorizes himself as, quote, a happily married straight guy, purchased the domain 2m4m.org and branded it for two men for marriage.
Hell yeah.
Running material completely counter to Nam's aims.
We love this. We love this.
Also, they ran a TV ad campaign during this same time for the 2M4M campaign called Gathering Storm. And it was actors, primarily Mormons from Arizona, standing against a dramatic storm cloud background of the oncoming clouds of gays that are going to get married. Oh, they're going to adopt dogs and babies.
Oh, no. Two women can sign up to the same Subaru lease. Oh.
Dinks. We used to be dinks.
Dual income, no kids.
Yeah, not
but
anymore.
But you know what's also...
Now we got to spend all our money on blueberries. And you know what happens to people that have got to spend money on blueberries?
Enough about that. We're moving on to another joke. That's going to be a deep cut that no one will understand in 6 months.
On March 16th, 2015, Starbucks launched a marketing campaign to promote conversations about race between customers and employees.
Wait. Hold on.
I'm sorry, what?
You gotta give me a second here. You gotta give me a second. We just went hard from we're pro gay marriage to you just said that they want customers and employees to talk about race?
What could go wrong?
Race.
What could go wrong in America? America loves talking about its history of
during a business setting at ostensibly a restaurant.
7 in the morning, right before work, getting into it.
Okay. So whose idea was this? Was this Howard Schultz?
It's somebody up top.
Okay, but Howard Schultz was the CEO, so he signed off.
He signed off on it. The marketing campaign asked baristas to write the hashtag #RaceTogether on customers' cups.
What?
They're hashtagging. This is when hashtagging is really popping. So they wrote #RaceTogether.
Hold on. When was this?
2015.
Okay, so this is around Ferguson. Mm-hmm. This is around that time where we're seeing some racial strife early on. It's the beginning of like the Black Lives Matter movement, all those different things. And Howard Schultz and the executives at Starbucks thought, well, I know how to bring down the temperature.
Yeah.
Hot. I want to hand someone a hot beverage and then tell them my hot takes on race.
Yep. Anyway, it went really poorly.
It
was categorized as a fiasco by many media outlets.
Yeah.
And the thing that I felt was really kind of funny and ironic in this is that, again, this was all about opening a dialogue, right? But the Starbucks vice president of public relations ended up deleting his Twitter account because he didn't want to respond to people anymore about #RaceTogether, which is not a great way to open a dialogue.
But that's the thing is like these things need to happen organically. Like if there's going to be a national conversation, right, about anything, it can't come from a corporate hashtag on the side of a cup. But also, you're telling me that it's up to the barista to write #RaceTogether.
And then have the conversation. Which
means it's up to the barista to choose who they're going to do. Think about this.
I'm not getting paid
Think about this. It is 10:30 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
On a Thursday.
Yeah.
Guy walks in, and you're like, this one, #RaceTogether. And he's just like, you can tell as he's being handed the copy, he's like, no,
not me.
No,
not me.
Why do you want to talk to me? What do you think about what? Imagine if you hand it to Bill Burr. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things.
That would be incredible.
I mean, he wouldn't. It would be strange because he'd be in Riyadh at the time. Hey-oh!
Whoa. Anyway, so I told you that started on March 16th.
Yeah.
On March 22nd, the CEO advises employees to stop writing #RaceTogether.
That is less than a week.
Yeah.
That is under 6 days.
Dialogue over.
We had a dialogue. We discovered it's bad, and we moved on.
We're not doing it. You know when they did have a dialogue they couldn't get away from?
When was that?
In 2018.
Okay, so 3 years later.
3 years later, at a Philadelphia location at the Starbucks in Rittenhouse Square, 2 black men were arrested because of the store manager.
Oh.
Do you remember this?
This
was all over the news locally.
I do remember something. I remember there being, you say it was a Rittenhouse?
Yeah, it was in Rittenhouse.
Okay, yeah, I remember a little bit of this.
So these 2 guys, Dante Robinson and Rashawn Nelson, were at a Starbucks in Rittenhouse Square, which for people outside of Philly is like the nicest area in Center City, Philadelphia.
It's a very, very
affluent area. It's nice.
It's a high-end area. It's very rich. Rittenhouse Square Park itself is a private park that is surrounded on all sides by... Is the Barnes & Noble still there? Or did they move that?
No, they moved it.
But there's like very high-end restaurants there. There's a lot of very high-end old money.
I worked
people.
at all of those restaurants.
Yeah, but the people in the apartment buildings, it's old money. And there's apartment buildings and stuff like that. So like this
Kevin
is a very...
Bacon lives there.
Yeah, we're talking about pricey... Money neighborhood.
Money.
Okay.
Okay, so these guys are at the Starbucks. They're sitting at a table.
Mm-hmm.
They go up and they ask if they can have the key to the bathroom.
Okay, because again, it's the middle of a city, so they're open to the public, but they probably have it locked because they don't want somebody to shoot up in the bathroom.
So the manager refuses to let them use the bathroom because they haven't purchased anything.
Okay.
And so the two guys are like, "Listen, we're waiting for a business associate to come.
Waiting for a third
Because they're like entrepreneurs. That's their whole thing. Is like they were having a real estate meeting, so they were waiting for their friend to get there to all order coffee and then sit down and talk, which makes complete sense.
That's how
I
you
don't want to order my drink and then somebody shows up and I'm already halfway done it.
But also, even more importantly, you're sitting there with the coffee. The third person shows up. Then they're like, "Oh, let me go get my coffee." And now you're delaying. You can start the meeting while you're waiting in line,
exactly,
and while you're waiting for coffee, or at least get the icebreakers done.
Yeah.
That's how most people operate.
That's how it works in the real world.
Yes.
Anyway, this manager was so mad that they wanted to use the restroom and hadn't purchased anything and were sitting at a table waiting for their other person.
Yeah.
They called the police and reported them for trespassing. And then the police came and arrested them.
That's insane.
For trespassing. And so this incident obviously sparked widespread outrage all over the Philadelphia area, but also it became a national story.
Yeah.
And it led to company-wide racial bias training and changed the policy that anyone is considered a customer regardless of purchase when it comes to using the restroom, right?
Gotcha.
The coffee chain had to close 8,000 stores on May 29th to do a racial bias training for every employee. Right? And then Dante and Rashawn obviously sued them. They reached a confidential financial settlement with Starbucks. We don't know how much they got. But they also went up against the Philadelphia police. Because why the fuck did you arrest these guys? Because my whole thing is like, listen, I know the Philly cops. They don't want to do paperwork. Any time I've had to talk to a cop, and there's like a situation like where something like this is going on, they're like, just leave. Let me just hold the door open. Just leave. We're going to calm them down.
We're not saying that Philly cops are good at de-escalation. What we are saying is that Philly cops are incredibly lazy and they want to just get through the shift. They've been on soft
strike for like a decade.
Yeah, they've been on soft strike for a very long time.
What are you talking
but
about?
also it's one of those things when they're looking around, they're like,
just get out of here.
Just fucking beat it.
Just beat it. Yeah, that's what they would do.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's what they would do.
I've been in a situation when I worked I've had a lot of jobs. When I worked as a bouncer and we had to call, the police showed up, half the time they were turning to the drunk and just being like, fucking just get out of here.
Go.
If you don't leave now, I'm arresting you.
Yeah.
It's usually what would happen.
It's not correct. It's not right.
No.
They should not have been asked to leave. They should have never called the police.
It should never have escalated this situation.
It's wild that the police even put handcuffs on these guys.
Yes.
So then the Dante and Rashawn were going to sue the city, obviously. But they ended up with a settlement with the city in which Philadelphia, our tax dollars, paid a symbolic $1 payment to Dante and Rashawn. But then what they did is Dante and Rashawn's idea was that they wanted to start a fund, kind of like a grant for an entrepreneurship program for inner city youth to get into being entrepreneurs.
Gotcha.
So the city agreed to fund a $200,000 a year grant to fund youth initiatives to help young men become entrepreneurs.
Yeah, these are
so
what you're saying
and Rashawn,
Dante and Rashawn are amazing guys.
Yeah.
Who were there to meet somebody else
to talk about
and
real estate.
They could have sued the shit out of the city for wrongful arrest.
Yeah.
But instead we're like, no, we want young men in our city to have a shot, and you guys aren't using that properly anyway. So they use the power of that moment to create a fund to help more people.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Listen, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about the war on Christmas.
Christmas! All right, we're about to hear about Christmas. Mrs. P's, one of your favorite times of the year.
It's in the top 3.
What's top 1?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Everybody knows Thanksgiving.
All right, good.
My
What's it?
favorite holiday.
Thanksgiving, then what? Halloween?
Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then Easter, then Halloween.
Okay.
It's really about how many deviled eggs am I getting.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And Halloween, you don't get any deviled eggs.
You don't get any deviled eggs, but you do get ghosts and goblins.
Ghosts and goblins.
Yeah.
Also, you get the little ghost peeps. I like those.
I do like a ghost peep.
Okay, so November 2015.
November 20. Okay, we're right around the time of
November 2015. You and I had been married for a month.
2 months. We've been married for 2 months at that point.
Fine.
Okay.
We've been married for 2 months at that time.
Yeah, no, we've been married for 2 months at that point in time because we got married in September.
That's right.
Okay.
Listen, some of us are really good at stuff.
I can
like
tell.
remembering anniversaries.
Well, you're really good at research, so
Yeah.
go ahead and tell me about the war on Christmas.
November 2015, Starbucks introduced a solid red seasonal cup.
I remember this. I remember this one. This is the stupidest controversy. I can't believe it's been 10 years.
It's been a decade.
It's been a decade since the red cup of doom.
So, unlike previous holiday cups, which were decorated with winter or Christmas-oriented imagery, such as reindeer ornaments, the cup design was just red.
Okay.
For the holidays.
It was just flat red.
Just flat red with the white lid.
Yeah.
And then you get like a little brown or green cover.
Yeah.
And if it's like the green Starbucks cover, then you're red and green.
Yeah, then you're red and green. But also, like in general, like I remember seeing the images of it. It was the red Starbucks cup, right?
Yep.
Sitting in front of like the green Starbucks logo with the siren on it, right?
Yep.
And so those two things are sitting together, and that's red and green because red and green are Christmas.
Christmas.
Especially like it was like almost like a cranberry red, right?
Yeah, it's like
It's like a poinsettia
classic
red. Yeah, it's a
Classic
red. It's a deep red.
Anyway, what people started citing this as yet another example of the war on Christmas, calling it Cupgate.
Cupgate?
Cupgate.
More these cupcakes fucking chill out. Because like here's the thing is this is very similar to when they get mad if you say happy holidays.
Yeah.
Instead of saying Merry Christmas. But which has always driven me nuts because happy holidays is not erasing Christmas.
Yeah.
It is being inclusive of Christmas and other things. Now, some people immediately sit there and they think happy holidays, Christmas, and they also must mean Hanukkah. Maybe they mean Tet. Maybe they mean Diwali. Maybe they mean Ramadan. All these other different things that could, depending on the way these calendars work, fall around the same time, right?
Yeah.
But to me, happy holidays is including the entire winter break because in America, we view that time not only as Christmas, but more importantly, it's when school is on break.
Yeah.
And school is on break for the holidays. 2 of them. They're on break for Christmas and New Year's. And so you want something that's going to encapsulate both because there's nothing weirder than having a Christmas cup in January.
Yeah.
And so I want something that it can go over a little bit, but I'm not immediately like weirded out by it.
I think if they were going to do it, they should do like a LeMay Silver. Because LeMay Silver is very New Year's Eve.
And also,
like the ball.
But also it has that like silver, like a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, silver and gold.
And it would probably be cheaper than putting a 4-paragraph quote on it.
Definitely.
Yes.
Anyway, an evangelical internet personality named Joshua Firestein made a video suggesting that customers tell baristas that their name was Merry Christmas so that the baristas are forced to write on the cups and then shout across the room, Merry Christmas.
Oh my God.
Do
you see how this is exactly like the Charlie Kirk thing?
Yes.
They've been doing the same thing. They've been fighting the same war in the same lobby of different places that used to be banks.
Yeah.
Because most of the time,
be Chipotle's.
Yeah, most of the time.
The only Starbucks near us became a Chipotle's.
That's just how it goes. It's just, hey, if the Starbucks there fails, they're going to put something else in there.
I wish it was something cool, though.
It would be great if we put in something.
Cool.
I just like independent coffee shops better. Because you know what it is? I think about an independent coffee shop. You come in there, you're like, you better say Merry Christmas. The owner literally is like, fuck out.
Get the fuck out of
here.
here.
Get the fuck out of here. Because again, this is also just like going back to the thing with the cup before where they showed up like, we don't want no corporate bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Well, no, if you don't want corporate bureaucracy, don't go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Starbucks is built on corporate bureaucracy and Wall Street and paying shareholder dividends further enough down the line. You're buying a cup of coffee there is the ends to someone getting a dividend payment.
Yeah.
It is not. If you go to a small place, I don't want to say mom and pop because a lot of times it's single people who are running it with like a small local staff.
Yeah.
But if you go to one of those places, you got a fucking problem. The fucking owner will talk to you. You want to talk to the owner?
Yeah.
You're not talking to a CEO.
Yeah.
You're
they're
never
not
talking
worried
to a
about-
CEO.
They're not worried about dividends. They're worried about paying for soccer practice.
If you want to talk to the fucking CEO of a big major corporation, you got to have Mar-a-Lago money. okay? You got to have King of England dinner money, all right? That's how you're going to fucking talk to it, all right? Because you don't even talk to your fucking state rep. You want to talk to the CEO of Starbucks? Get the fuck out of here.
So this guy, Firestein, appears on CNN, keeps talking about how Starbucks is trying to remove Christ out of Christmas. Blah, blah, blah. And then I started opening more tabs because I'm like, who is this guy?
Capitalism removed Christ out of Christmas, by the way. That was capitalism.
Yeah.
That was the mall.
That was the mall.
Get the fuck out of here with
But
this.
when they were all running and pushing each other over to get Teddy Ruxpins and Cabbage Patch.
I miss those days, though.
Yeah.
I do miss a day. I miss seeing people. People don't fist fight for goods anymore.
No.
They will soon.
Yeah.
During the famine. Hey-oh.
Woo! So I opened a bunch of tabs trying to figure out who this Joshua Firestein guy is.
Okay.
And then I realized his whole thing is this. This is his shtick, right?
Oh, okay.
He posted a video once where he went to like a bakery in Florida and asked them to write an anti-gay marriage message on it in 2015. And then when the bakery refused, he got on Facebook and demanded that people bully the bakery and leave 1-star reviews. Like, this is his whole thing.
So his whole thing is Yelp bombs.
Yeah.
He's a Yelp bomber.
And
but
like,
also famously though, if you're going after gay, like you want an anti-gay cake, the Supreme Court actually had a ruling on this.
Yeah.
You can't be forced to make a gay cake. Therefore, you shouldn't be forced to make an anti-gay. But we live in hypocritical, fascistic times where laws don't matter for anything except for what the president
hypocrisy
believes.
is the most frustrating part.
It is the tab I wish you would close.
Yeah. The one thing is that he did have to remove that video and stated he had only done it as part of a social experiment on religious freedom.
Oh, there we go.
When the bakery almost got shut down, it was just like a social experiment on my religious freedom.
So basically, what you're telling me is this guy is libs of TikTok.
Yeah.
He's libs of TikToking places. I'm not saying for you guys to do anything, but this school at this address and phone number.
What's that called? Stochastic terrorism?
Yeah, it is 100% called stochastic
you see
terrorism.
how I said it right. Thank
you
you.
did. You were
Thanks.
so. You know what? I'm glad that after 3 years things are starting to seep in.
Well, yeah.
3 years.
Name all of the Kardashians.
Okay, Chloe.
Yup.
Now, what are we talking about with this guy? Rob is the sock mogul.
Yep, Rob.
Does he still make socks?
I don't know what he does.
Who knows what
You
Rob
forgot
Kardashian?
Kim. She's like the most famous
I didn't forget. I
Yeah.
banished her from my memory.
What about Chris?
Kris Jenner.
Yeah, see?
I know that she's the most. Honestly, when you're like, name all the Kardashians, Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner. She's all
And then
of
the
it.
rest are doing whatever she wants.
Yeah, I'm every woman. That's her.
Inside
And she's got that new face on. Like Cassandra, moisturize me.
Oh, God. Real fast, though. But this guy, what you're describing, by the way, you were describing Marjorie Taylor Greene on Facebook in 2016, 2017.
You're going to need to elaborate. I don't know
This
what
is
you're talking
exactly the type. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene famously like chased David Hogg, the Parkland survivor, like down the street for a Facebook live stream. Like she would just sit there and be like, "Yo, we gotta stop this evil thing," blah, blah, blah. And she had like a Facebook following, and then she pivoted her Facebook following into running for Congress.
Do you know that you just started your Facebook page?
I did.
Is this because you're going to pivot?
I am not pivoting.
Please follow Alex on Facebook.
I have an official Pearlmania 500 Facebook because someone else was posing as me for a very long time, and we used to ignore it.
Yeah.
I didn't care that they were making a lot of money, but then I was recently told by my own father, hey, when did you change your mind on RFK Jr.? And I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Then he showed me his Facebook app on his phone where there is a quote official Pearlmania 500 page was supporting RFK Jr., MAHA, Russell Brand, and more. And I said, oh, no. We're going to deal with this.
And we took it down.
Yeah, well, we're trying to. We're in the works of pushing back on it. And I've highlighted and reached out to Meta reps after paying for Meta Verified.
Yeah.
Because even though I have a check mark on Instagram, TikTok, and more, that does not, for some reason, translate to Facebook.
Because they need the money.
Because they don't need the money. They want the money. They have enough money to go build data centers all over America that are sucking up all of our precious, precious fresh water that they need so they can make AI llamas suck each other off or something. I don't know. Tell me about this asshole and his stupid stuff.
Well, so he did all that stuff, and then you know what he did? Of course, stormed the Capitol.
Wait, the Red Cup guy stormed the Capitol?
Of course he did.
So there was one day where
Red Cup equals red hat. Boom, nailed it.
Yep, done. No, you're right. You're right.
Then he did get investigated by the FBI. I don't think he got arrested, but he got investigated.
Did he get investigated because he live streamed it?
He did. He live streamed himself.
That was a guess.
And he talked a lot about Mike Pence being little. He called him a little coward, a little swamp monster, and a little slime ball.
Oh, okay. He was just doing a little Mike Pence threatening.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway,
can I tell my favorite thing about January 6th?
What?
Besides just the vibes.
They were immaculate.
Definitely not the ramifications.
No.
Because there were none. But the vibes, because I loved how so many of them were like, "How'd they get me?" It's like, bro, you live streamed.
Bro.
They literally were like, "We're in here right now.
Yeah.
We're doing some crimes.
Yeah, crimes.
Here's a list of crimes we're gonna do. I will never face repercussions about this." And then they spend 4 years facing repercussions, and then immediately they're like, "I'm free again. Where's my free money?"
They keep getting arrested again, though.
They do keep getting arrested
for the wildest shit.
Well, listen,
they all went back to Florida.
Well, it's because of once you're in, it's recidivism.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Yep.
So. And he does that, and then obviously there were no repercussions, like you said. So what did he do? He ran for state representative in Texas.
Oh.
But fun fact, he did get clobbered by the incumbent because he ran as a Republican, and the incumbent got 75% of the votes, and he only got 24.
Yeah, because I think people don't realize about this, especially the low state rep races, especially. That truly is about still who you know in real life.
Yeah.
Oftentimes. It's once you get to the bigger and bigger ones, then the social media side might work for you.
Yeah.
But every time I see somebody who's like a social media firebrand who tries to get involved politically, unless they've made deep connections like in the party, in local organizing, any of those different things, people would be like, "Oh, that guy's a fucking psycho."
Yeah, he's weird.
I've never seen it before. Also, sprinkling a little bit of money on top, sending out some flyers.
Yeah.
And those mailers do a lot more than your weirdo Facebook.
Yeah, because you don't want to read what they wrote on there.
Yeah, but also if you're having no. But also, if you have a big Instagram or a social media presence, that doesn't mean it's in your narrow district.
Yeah.
Like it has to be very narrowly targeted to your district of like 10 or 15, 20,000 people. Like, you're insanely popular. Okay, I know where my analytics are. It's Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, and LA. So when I'm looking at those analytics and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to go run for Pennsylvania." I'm not charting in Pittsburgh.
No.
I'm not charting in Centralia. So if I'm going to go run for Senate against John Fetterman, that fucking coward,
son of a bitch.
if I'm going to do that, I need to go and get deeper into Pennsylvania politics in general at a statewide level. Or if I'm going to do it at a state rep or a state senate, at my local county level.
Yeah.
And these guys just don't do that. Instead, they just show up, they act like assholes, then they go, "Like and subscribe, but you better fucking like and subscribe this video."
Please.
But they do that in person, and then people in regular life are like, "That guy's fucking weird."
That guy's a weirdo.
What was his name again? I'm going to vote for whoever isn't him.
Yeah. Okay, so listen, let's jump ahead a little.
Okay.
2019 to 2021. Okay. Let's talk about unionizing again. We talked about it a little bit.
We did.
But let's get back into it.
You foreshadowed it.
I am a story writer.
You are. And you do story reports.
I do story reports.
Which, just for the guys who watch us on YouTube, you subscribe to us on the audio side of things, and then you can get the wonderful stories that Mrs. P reads books about.
Yeah, and they're super fun.
We do once a month. She reads a book, and then she explains it to me. But you can only get it on audio.
Because he doesn't know how to read, because you went to public school.
No, it's not. I know how to read.
I'm flipping the script on you. You always make fun of Catholic school, but guess what? I know a lot about angels.
I just took a lot of Tylenol, and I don't have an attention span. Okay, go ahead.
So in 2019, Starbucks was found by the NLRB, that's the National Labor Relations Board.
Oh, yeah.
That they had illegally retaliated against workers at the Philadelphia store who were engaging in attempts to unionize. Then in 2021, 49 baristas in Buffalo, New York announced their intention to file a formation for 3 unions backed by the Workers United and the NLRB. So that was in August. And then so that November, Starbucks began what some refer to as aggressive union busting campaigns.
They Amazoned it.
Against workers, including mandatory listening sessions. Which
God.
is they got all the staff together in all these meetings, and then they had to listen to the leaders in Starbucks talk to them about how great working at Starbucks was. This one guy, Will Westlake, a barista at one of the stores, said that the meetings quote, started off by going around and saying that they wanted me to vote no for the union. And then they went back and forth talking about how great all the benefits at Starbucks are. And if we vote in the union, we may not have any of those benefits anymore. And then they never allowed any feedback that might be considered pro-union.
Yeah. Well, because there's all these crazy things when it comes to like union organizing of like what is allowed and what's forced and all these different things. And with the NLRB, we had been building a stronger and stronger one. We just went through a very major, like big union push over the last few years.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a fun time, right?
Yeah, it was
we'll
pretty
talk
cool.
about that in our history section later because it's looking a little opposite right now.
It was pretty cool. But
We are-
anyway, you know
yeah.
what else happened? At this same like listening sessions, they had a speaker come in. Guess who they had?
Who'd they have?
Former CEO and now I think at this point in time board member or just like trusted person within the company, the former CEO Schultz.
Howard Schultz.
Howard Schultz.
Oh, because this is after he ran for president.
Yes.
Yeah, because in 2020 he ran for president. He famously spent a whole time being like, "We need somebody who's a centrist. There's a lot of unionizing going around. We need somebody who's a centrist." There's a very funny comedian who made a lot of fun of Howard Schultz by pretending he was very pro his campaign.
Yeah.
By constantly showing up with head wounds, being like he got hit in the head and he just loves Howard Schultz.
Yeah.
But so he shows up and so this guy who thought he was going to be the Democratic nominee.
Yeah.
Came out as anti-union.
Yeah. So he shows up at one of these listening sessions. To talk to the workers. These were happening at a Buffalo hotel. They had rented out like the corporate area.
Oh, that's right, because it's the 49 Buffalo. Gotcha.
And later, he's going to give a little speech, okay?
Okay.
And this speech was posted on YouTube on the Starbucks corporate account, but it got removed, and I'll tell you why. Schultz presented to workers the case against unionizing.
Okay.
Included using his Jewish heritage and the Holocaust to describe the company's mission, saying that they were trying to, quote, share their blanket with employees, referring to Holocaust prisoners in Poland that had used the survival tactic of sharing limited resources like blankets with each other. The narrative was, of course, met with widespread criticism.
Bro, what? They're like, we want a little more money and better health care. And he's like, bro, the Holocaust.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, what? I gotta take a break. We're gonna take a break.
Take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about something
Oh my God.
more chill.
More
That's
chill?
A lie. That's a lie. The next thing on my list is Israel.
What? And we are now going to somehow pivot from the Holocaust to Israel while discussing Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay, so we have to talk about this.
Okay.
Because there is a current boycott on Starbucks happening right now.
Yes. There has been for about 2 years.
Yes. And so, but when I opened, I was talking about how conservatives are going to Starbucks to go get their watered down honey mint tea.
Yeah, in a boycott.
In a boycott. Mm-hmm. But the other side of the political spectrum is currently boycotting as part of an anti-genocide activism. Right?
Yes.
So I wanted to look into how that started.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I think we shouldn't call it boycotts. They should call it girlcotts. Because if boycott is not getting something, then you do the opposite, and that's a girlcott. Because I would love to.
Is this about me going to Home Goods? Is that what this is about?
Going to Home Goods and just getting a little thing that's a little
Sometimes
nice for
you
you.
need a nice little thing.
Yes, a nice little
Sometimes
thing.
you need a nice scented candle.
No, but I also just want to look a conservative in the eye, be like, "Oh, you're doing a girl cot," and just have them be like, "I'm not a girl." That would work.
Okay.
Also, I'm trying to bring levity in between the Holocaust and Israel. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
You think gender politics is levity? Is this a joke to you?
Okay, well, we're at the end of we're getting near the end of the episode over here, so I'm getting a little bit loopy.
So, okay,
Okay.
here's what's happening.
Yeah.
Now, there are no Starbucks stores in Israel. There haven't been any since 2003.
Okay, there's
Okay.
none, and
That's one thing we need to know.
Are there any in Gaza or the West Bank?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so a conspiracy theory exploded, though, about Starbucks in 2006 when a fake letter allegedly written by the CEO and founder of Starbucks, Schultz, was thanking guests for supporting the company's supporting the company financially because the company was actively supporting the state of Israel. And so this letter went viral on the internet, and people were like, oh my God, fuck Starbucks, blah, blah, blah. But it turned out it was a satirical letter written by Andrew Winkler, the Jewish editor of an anti-Zionist website called Ziopedia.
Got it.
So this is the first like flag in the ground, right? Because I was like, where did this start when I was looking it up? But then in 2023, there was another call to boycott Starbucks because, it's kind of weird because the Starbucks Workers United group, the coalition.
The union?
But the Starbucks Workers United is a coalition of 12,000 baristas who work to help unionize Starbucks stores across the country.
Okay.
They're not just a union, they're more than that. But the Starbucks Workers United, they have a social media page, right? And their social media logo looks very similar to the Starbucks logo.
Okay, got it. Because they are Starbucks workers, so they want something that's going to look close to that.
So it's got green, it's got the white cup. It kind of looks like it, but it's not, right?
Okay, yeah.
So on October 9th, the Starbucks Workers United social media page reposted an image that was solidarity with Palestine.
Got it. So they posted that on October 9th.
Yes.
2023, after October 7th.
Yes.
All right, got it. Just to get the timeline straight.
Yeah. And so the post was removed shortly after that because Starbucks, the actual Starbucks, was like, you need to take this down. We're receiving thousands and thousands of complaints and threats against employees from customers who believe that Starbucks just endorsed this message. And Starbucks was saying that message was a message of terrorism.
So the word solidarity with Palestine from Starbucks union workers was what triggered not harassment. What's the word I'm looking for? Feedback.
Pushback.
And then Starbucks said, by doing this, people think that Starbucks is supporting terrorism?
Yes, basically.
Got it. Okay.
And so they're like, we're getting all these threats. And what they really wanted was for the union to stop using a logo that looked like theirs.
Ah, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
So they sued them for trademark infringement.
Starbucks sued the union.
Yes.
Okay.
To get them to change the logo because their whole thing is like, if your logo didn't look like ours, people wouldn't have thought we posted that.
Got it. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
The union refused to stop using the company name and the similar logo. And Starbucks Workers United countersued Starbucks, alleging that the company had defamed it by implying that it supported terrorism.
Yes.
Okay. And this is where consumer boycotts start.
Got it.
Yeah.
So the consumer boycott began because we watched it kind of spiral from there.
Yeah.
It's become kind of a greater thing, but it began around solidarity with the union, and the union was having solidarity with Palestine.
Yes.
And Starbucks was using this moment that they could weaponize as attack against the union organizers.
Yeah.
Because they, as you know, there's only limited resources. So you have limited resources of things you can deal with, whether or not you're supporting the employees and the general unionization efforts, or you're in court filing a copyright challenge.
Yeah.
And so Starbucks is like, oh, this is great. I can also make the unions look like that they're in the media's view and in the general public's view, like they're supporting something that the general public wouldn't or make them afraid of that.
Yeah.
Right? Even though we've now seen such huge shifts when it comes to the public, especially around Palestine, especially around the people of Gaza and the genocide that's been happening there.
Yeah. So the consumer boycott starts, and the company reportedly lost $11 billion in market value as a partial result of the boycotts.
And I saw so many different people who were like trying to figure out how to get rid of. A lot of people had like on the Starbucks app, because you've talked about this with Dunkin' Donuts and others, where they want us to preload money.
No.
And they want us to get stuff already on there. And then that's money that they can borrow against, kind of. They can have it set to the side. It's a liability, but it's also an asset at the same exact time because they know it'll be eventually spent. A lot of people who used to get Starbucks gift cards would tell their parents, stop giving me Starbucks gift cards. I'm going to go find a different cafe.
Yeah.
And all those different things. And what's wild is this amount of money that they lost has not really moved Starbucks to do much more than put things on their website trying to counter messaging.
Yeah.
Because before we recorded this episode, when you told me about this, I was like, well, when was... Because I had thought like maybe does Dunkin' Donuts have locations
I like that
in
you
Israel?
pointed over there because there's absolutely a Dunkin' Donuts. Cup
Yes,
right
there's. We don't have a. There isn't a local independent coffee shop near us that we can hit at the same time.
I wish there was.
But like Dunkin' Donuts last year had a controversy. Actually,
What was it?
they had a franchise that made donuts with the Star of David on them, and the franchisee said, "We stand with Israel." And Dunkin' Donuts corporate had to be like, "That is a franchisee decision."
Yeah.
The same way McDonald's has had issues as well because
Yeah,
McDonald's
because
is
the
part of.
franchisee that had Trump serve Frenchie fries.
But also, McDonald's has locations in Israel.
Oh.
And the McDonald's locations in Israel gave free meals to the IDF.
Oh. See, I'm not boycotting McDonald's because I've never really eaten there.
Because you have celiacs.
I know.
You can't eat anything in
They
there's nothing
put
you
gluten in the French fries.
Yes.
It's a potato. Why would you need to add gluten to it?
because they got to put a little pinch of something terrible in there.
I know.
But in general, with all of this stuff, we've had this ongoing boycott. That's why I find that Starbucks in general has been such a battleground with this. And the reason the conservatives keep giving them more money.
Yeah.
Has been an issue with it. And we're not telling you to go to Starbucks.
No,
We're not
I would
saying that
never-
anyway. I'm just saying look at the tactics. Look at how things are happening right now. You have one group who's going there and loudly giving them money and making sure that you know that their group is supporting them financially. Then you have another side of things where like we don't fuck with you whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so it's like which one is going to go? I think a lot about Subaru. I do, because the reason why Subarus and gay people have been interlocked for so long was a marketing choice by Subaru.
Yeah.
Subaru chose to do ads with gay couples.
They're
in them.
incredible, by the way.
Yes.
Look up the original Subaru ads from the 90s,
Yeah.
right? Where it was very lesbian culture. And I love them. It's just like the 2 bumper stickers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the kayaks. It's so cute. It's so subtle.
Yep.
I love it.
But the thing is in all of this, and we've been kind of talking about this throughout the entire show, it's been about market share.
Yeah.
As Starbucks has gotten bigger, and actually right now smaller because they're about to close, I think, a bunch of 100 stores across America and lay off thousands of employees in a big restructuring. As this has gone on, they have been reaching to a wider and wider and wider audience. So they are trying to be less offensive, less targeted, and less coded to any one group. So in 2012, they wanted to make sure that libs who should be going to independent coffee shops and having conversations with strangers, they wanted to make sure that those libs would still go over to their stores. They wanted to make sure that in the blue dot cities in red states, they would be just as comfortable going there as people in Austin, Texas. Keep Austin weird, right? Back in the day, you went there, it was a lot of independent stuff, and then slowly it became all corporatized. Slowly things turned into strip malls, and slowly those strip malls are then getting hollowed out from the inside. We're seeing this happen across the country and in these types of ways. But it's also really, really, really financially co-opted our third spaces to a point where people don't feel comfortable to go sit in a Starbucks for 4 hours. It's not designed that. It's purposely designed like an airport lobby.
It reminds me of what is it called when they have the benches that aren't comfortable?
Oh yeah, it's the type
Something
of architecture.
design,
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, but it's anti-homeless design.
Yeah,
It's really
exactly.
what it comes
It's
down to.
anti-homeless design.
It's that same sort of way that the way they design the booths, the way they design these different things. They want the aesthetic of inviting people, but they want the pushback when you actually start using things to not want to be
Hostile architecture. That's what it feels like in there. It's like I know, like the chairs are okay. It's like it's all spaced out, whatever. But there's just something like leave.
But there's also that exactly. They're using hostile architecture while marketing inclusion.
Yeah.
And you can't have both.
No.
You can't. You either are solely like that's the thing I always think back when I think back to Atlantic City when I was a young man. I had friends of mine who really got into Texas Hold'em poker.
Okay.
All right. They were super into Texas Hold'em poker. It was 2007.
Where is
Shut the
this
fuck
gonna
up.
go?
I'm going to tell you where it's going to go.
Okay.
We went to 2 casinos. One was the Borgata, brand new casino, right? And the Borgata was very much, oh my God, every hour on the hour we have a Chinese New Year's parade with a dragon and everything was about you. We love you. Money, 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 money. Oh my God, you're so, everything was about how you're so special and we love you and all these different things. And I hated it.
Yeah.
It was the worst experience of my life because I knew they were lying to my face. I knew they were pretending to give a shit about me. And then I went down the street to the Sands Casino, which is now, I believe now is gone.
It's not even there.
I walked into the Sands and I like walked in and I'm kind of standing there looking around. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And one of the security guards walked up to me and goes, "Do you have money?" And I said, what? He goes, are you going to gamble or are you going to fucking stand there? Do you have money or are you just here looking for a free ride? And I was like, huh? And he's like, nah. They turned and grabbed like a homeless guy and like pushed him out. And I was like, oh, this place is honest. Yeah. They're just like, we don't put your money on the table, lose it, now get the fuck out.
Yeah, goodbye.
And I was like, that's honest. And that's been my issue with Starbucks for like one of many issues, but a big issue I've had with them for a very long time.
Yeah.
Has been the fakeness of it, on top of the fact that they are a corporate bureaucracy whose end goal is to transfer money from our pockets eventually to a end line investor somewhere connected to Wall Street.
Yeah.
That's their end goal. It's not like an independent coffee shop in your neighborhood whose goal is, yes, to make money, but also to be a meeting place, also to be a place for poetry and open mics and a place
and cool art on the walls.
A cool art of local artists.
Yeah.
And of having local roasted coffee. And maybe they secretly sell Lucy's on the side. And maybe they let a young comedian get up on stage and host their open mic for a few years so he gets a little bit better at his craft. So eventually he ends up in the back room of a bar across from a dilapidated prison where he meets some crazy bitch sitting in the front row. And then eventually he screams into his phone until he gets invited to the White House. And then slowly pivots that into a podcast. And Hunter Biden tells him he's a special boy.
We're not getting invited back to that White House, though.
But
that was a one and only thing.
Oh, baby, we're getting invited to a camp. Follow us wherever you can follow us. Hit that hype button and check out more of our videos.